All right, let's talk about tragedies, when tragedy strikes in your life. Just found out one of the guys in the house, his mom died, and he went out and relapsed. Had some other issues as well. You know, not showing up for curfew, staying overnight, you know, just several violations of the house rules and the policies. So I was convinced that I was going to have to remove him from the house this morning. I just got off the phone with him and kind of got up to speed. And the reality is, you know, he's out getting loaded because he's in pain. His mom died, and I can offer empathy for that. My dad died when I was in my 20s. I handled that very poorly before I got into recovery. It almost killed me as well. And, you know, I tried to deal with the pain through drinking and drugging, and it did not pan out very well. It never does. I have gone through a divorce, and people can argue, oh, divorce versus death. Well, I'll tell you what, the pain of my divorce was comparable to that of the death of my father. I was very close with my dad. So, and especially, you know, a lot of the resentment and the anger that I have to deal with related with that divorce. There was betrayal, there was infidelity, there's like, I have to see her all the time still. I have to be reminded of it constantly. It's been 2 years, and I'm still trying to process the toxic emotions related to that tragedy in my life. The difference is, versus and compared to when my dad died, drowning myself in alcohol, self-pity, and drugs and everything else, I took it as an opening to, I don't know, like this is why I got into the sober living thing. Like, I don't know why, but I guess maybe I do know why. I consciously made a decision years ago. I thought about it. I was enjoying my recovery so much, and I was so grateful for life with, you know, on this spiritual awakening level, and outside of the drugs and alcohol. Even the worst days, like you hear, it sounds kind of cliche, but the worst days in recovery are better than when I was drinking and drugging. There's just been, you know, I guess even going through the hard times, I've just always felt exponentially better than I did before February 6, 2006, when I got clean and sober. You know, I was miserable and depressed, and it was just a horrible existence, and it just hasn't felt remotely close to that, even with the hard stuff since then, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so what I did is I just made up my mind. I played out the worst case scenarios, like, what if this happens? And I hate to even think about them and put them out there. I have children. You know, there's a lot of bad things that can happen, right? When it comes to my children, my wife, my maybe, I don't know, one of my brothers or my sisters, some people that I care about, you know, whatever, a natural catastrophe. And I've thought this through. What if that happens? What is my game plan? And I've already established a game plan. You know, I have a sponsor I can call. I have meetings I can go to. I have support that I can get. I have people that can listen to me. I have safe places I can go to work through it and process it in a healthy manner, because it just feels better to do it that way. I know the end result of trying to hide from my emotions behind drinking or drugging and anything else out there. And it's destructive, and it will destroy me. On top of whatever it is that happened, I know it will destroy me. And so I would encourage anybody to do the same. That is my suggestion to anyone in a Simplify Sober Living home and anyone in the world. You know, if you struggle with drugs and alcohol or any type of depression, or, you know, gosh, take your pick of maladies in this life, you know, you got to think it through. Guess what? Life's still going to happen to you. No matter what, if you come out the other side of recovery or counseling or addiction or, you know, any type of, you know, obstacle in life, and you think, all right, now I'm never going to have bad things happen to me. It just doesn't work like that. Bad things are going to still happen. This is the world that we live in, and you're going to have to deal with it. You can choose how to deal with it. But drinking and drugging, it's the weak way out. I'm sorry. Like I said, I can give empathy to somebody. And especially, you know, this guy that I'm talking about, his mother died. I know he's over 50 years old, so I don't know how old his mom is, but it's not like, you know, I know this might sound very callous, but my gosh, like, you know, parents that get up into 70s, 80s, yeah, it's difficult. There's nothing about a death that's going to be easy, but it's not like, my gosh, there's horrible things that can happen to young people, right? And what I would say is, And when I say that, I mean, if a child dies, if there's a tragedy. There was somebody in Maricopa, 4 of their children were burned in a house fire last month. You know what I mean? Like, so some tragedies are worse than others is what I'm saying, right? That's the point. Again, I hope that doesn't come across as callous, but that's okay if it does. You know, if your 80-year-old father or mother dies and you're 50 or 60 and you wallow in self-pity and go out and destroy your life, you know, I've got a certain amount of empathy for that. I know it's painful and, you know, there's nothing about death that's easy, but on the same token, I feel a lot more emotion for somebody who just lost 4 kids in a house fire, if that makes sense. Now, here's the other thing, and the final point I want to make on this. You have an option, right? When tragedy strikes, I would love to see you become an inspiration. I would love to see you be the type of person who, I would like to believe this is what I was. That divorce happened. It wasn't my choice. I can say it wasn't my fault. I'm sure there were things I did, but at the end of the day, my ex-wife had some very serious issues that she chose to ignore, and she chose to do divorce, to go the divorce route instead. Destroyed my family, destroyed my home, everything gone, right? It was difficult. And you know what? My daughter and I, together, I remember I was driving her to school. I'm homeless, living with my own mother in my early 40s, taking my daughter to school, not knowing how I'm going to pay the bills, not knowing where we're going to live. No clue. I was kicked out of my own house legally. My ex-wife went and got an order of protection. Long story, totally fake. Lied to a judge and got me kicked out of my own house. I had nowhere to go. I looked at my daughter and we started talking about our dreams now, like what we wanted to do with our life. And I said, I would love to open up a sober living. She said she'd like to be, you know, a singer. And well, she already was a singer, but she would like to start singing more and explore her. And we got excited about our life, about what we were going to do now to overcome this obstacle in a positive direction. And you know what? Guess what we did? Exactly that. She tried out for America's Got Talent. She's done some professional recording. I opened up the sober living. We have, in the last 2 years, it's been a year and a half, coming on 2 years since that tragedy struck, and our life has gone in a positive direction. We put action behind our dreams and we moved it. And so that, to me, that I would love to see that from other people. Tragedy strikes, inspire me with your ability to overcome it and become better people and be able to more deeply connect with other people who go through tragedies. Now, if you can make it through something like that in a healthy way, you can actually help other people. You're more capable of helping others. That is the way I would love to see you handle things like that, because I know it's going to be better for you and for the world and for those people that you can help. All right? I guess that's all I've got to share on that. Thanks.